If you endured years of a sexless marriage before you found yourself suddenly single, and thinking to yourself a few months after the separation that maybe this was the time to jump back into the dating pool and maybe sow some wild oats that have been saved up for a really long time, well, I've got some bad news for you. You're going to do a little time traveling on this trip. You're going to go back to the time you were before you met your wife. I got kind of lucky when I first hit the dating scene because the very first woman that I was really attracted to and really thought, oh, she would be an ideal person based completely on her dating profile and how pretty she was in her pictures. So really without much real interaction with her. You know, the pandemic had started, so I had this communication with her on the phone. This woman, very attractive. She seemed quite young. She came through with a piece of wisdom that was so unexpected and so brilliant. Even though it hurt my feelings in the moment, it was exactly what I needed to hear, and I'm going to share it with you now. She told me, she said, John, I think you're a great guy. I'd love to go out with you, but I got to tell you, at this point in your life, you are going to have a real problem if you get into a relationship with anyone. And I don't want to be that girl that you end up having that first relationship with, because it's inevitable that you're going to fall hard, fall deep, and then you're going to withdraw very quickly. You're going to realize that you've made a mistake. And I have been through that, and I don't want to go through that again. And at the moment when I heard it, I was thinking, well, that's kind of a cheap way to get out of going out with me. You just tell me you don't like me, I'm fine. But we continued to have a relationship after that, off and on for a couple years. And she was right. I did not need to be out there dating. Did I listen? No, of course not. I got right back out there and started dating other people. So in addition to all the insecurities you had when you were younger, when you met your wife, that got you into the mess that you're in now, you've got a whole nother layer of insecurities you get to add on top of that before you meet some women. Yeah, you've armed yourself with being demasculated or emasculated for the last 20 or 30 years. You've been told that you're not attractive anymore. You've been told by the person that you know, trusted and were loyal to and dedicated your life to that you're not good enough. So yeah, that's gotta get in your head a little bit, I would think. That's the kind of stuff that takes a while to work out. You know, you can't just jump right into the next woman's bed thinking that that's not going to have an effect. So with that in mind, that's another reason why you probably ought to keep your hands to yourself for a while, if you know what I mean. I found a lot of younger women were connecting with me on my dating app, and these girls were young and attractive, and I was like, what the heck, man, I'm an old guy. What the hell are they interested in me for? Why would they want someone like me? I didn't think that that would be something that they would be interested in, but boy, were they interested. Single moms, oh man, they were coming out of the woodwork. They were looking for a dad. Just generally crazy people were coming after me. I think I have that apparent appeal to lunatics. So yeah, that was definitely a thing. What I learned through that process is that I needed to come to terms with who I was as a man on the dating scene. I needed to learn some new skills. I needed to grow up. I needed to stop being that guy I was when I was 30 years old when I met my wife. And I need to start becoming this new version of me that is confident, smarter, more savvy, understands the relationships between men and women, understands the transactional nature of it, is able to take what I want from this relationship without having things taken from me. Because I think that when the exchange is right, each party is entering into the relationship knowing exactly what they're going to give and giving it voluntarily. That's when the relationship works. Where it becomes a problem is when one party is using deception to take from the other what the other is not quite ready to give or quite willing to give. Rebound relationships all have the same characteristics, and you can identify them from a mile away. Number one, they're intense. They start off fast, they burn hot, and they end quickly. That's a rebound relationship. You gotta be really careful when you're messing with people's emotions at this stage in life. People will do crazy stuff. Also, if you start off hot, you don't get to know this girl, you may be walking into a trap, and you definitely don't want that in your life. You ever seen a guy celebrate after a touchdown, and then he injures himself in the middle of it? Could be carried off on a stretcher, rips an ACL or something like that. That's kind of what a rebound relationship is like. It's like, yeah, you're celebrating. You think you've just scored some big points. But the truth of the matter is, you just tore your ACL, you idiot. So, yeah, don't do that. And that's what happens to a lot of guys when they get on the dating scene after splitting with their wives. Is they end up in a relationship where the woman, not even necessarily being malevolent, is that the right word? She's not trying to be an asshole and take what she wants. She's just doing what comes naturally. She's just trying to protect herself. She's trying to find a guy. She's trying to develop a relationship. And when I talk about resources that men bring to the table, it's not just about money and shelter and safety. It also includes things like companionship, and some of these things are shared resources that we exchange back and forth. But being that that ear, women love to talk, so they like having someone to talk to, and they just want you to sit there and listen. And being that for them is a resource that they really want from us. And it's fine, but just be aware of what resources you're willing to give and what resources you're not. Because from the women's perspective, they really want to take it all. They want everything that you have, not because they are bad people. It's just because that's the way they are. It's not anything, it's not a reflection on their individual character. It's just the way women are. They want to go all in. They want to take it all. They want the whole relationship. They want the commitment. That's what they're after, is the commitment from you to a long-term relationship. And the longer you can hold out against that commitment, the better off this relationship is going to be. Rebounding in basketball is a great thing. So if you're not a great shooter, you can be a great rebounder, and your coach is going to love you because you're going to really make a big difference in contributing to your team's winning the game. Rebounding in relationships is not a good thing. You do not want that as your moniker in life, because you're going to get a concentrated version of what you experienced with your wife over a very short period of time. You're going to have the emotional high of the meeting the new girl, getting the approval, maybe having some sex. You're going to get this emotional tingle. You're going to feel really good about yourself for a couple of weeks. And then you're going to think, wait a second, I don't know anything about this woman. She seems a little bit crazy. Why is she talking to me like that? Why am I doing this? Why am I in this relationship? And then you're going to have to pull it out. You're going to have to stop. You're going to have to end the relationship. There is one magic word that you can use with a woman that will give you control over the entire relationship. And it's a word that you've got to get used to saying. And it's a word that most of us don't like to say because it has so many negative connotations. And that word is no. When you say no to a woman, you are taking control of the relationship. You're setting the parameters. If you don't use that word, she will assume your consent in every way. One of my followers from Australia wrote me this great comment about, I guess in Australia they've got this whole issue where the government is supporting a program where they are promoting the idea that men need to get consent from a woman before they, advance in their relationship physically. And so he was telling me that it's almost impossible to be romantic with a woman because you've got to ask her consent every step of the way. Like, okay, can I touch you here now? I can only imagine. I don't know what that would be like, but I can only imagine. It gets kind of ridiculous. I can see a parody on it already in my head. But there is no like consent on the other side. Like as the relationship advances to the next level, I think sometimes we men find ourselves implying consent without giving it. And we need to be really, really cautious about that, because the relationship takes on a depth and an energy of its own. If there's an implication of consent that you're saying, yeah, I'm taking this further so that you can get her in the sack, well, she would have every right to believe that that's what you intended and that's what you wanted to do. And it's a deception, and I don't think that's a good idea. Women will do the same kind of thing with sex, as they will lead you on with the idea that we're friends with benefits, or this is just a short-term relationship, it's something casual, don't worry about it. Next thing you know, there are toothbrushes in your bathroom and they've got a drawer in your bedroom. Don't let that happen. That is not something you can do. That is the old proverb about the nose of the camel in the tent. The next thing you know, you've got an entire camel in your tent. You don't want a camel in your tent, trust me. If you miss this opportunity to become a better, stronger, healthier, more capable man in this moment, you're going to relive what you experienced with your wife over and over and over again. It's inevitable, because you're playing by the same rules. You're the same guy that started the mess. You're going to go right back to being that guy, and you're going to just go into rinse and repeat, and you're going to be that guy again, and be that guy again, and be that guy again. That's why you see so many guys with 3 or 4 marriages. It's like they just keep going back to where they left off, and then they start over and they repeat the same patterns, and those patterns lead to the same destination. You don't want to do that. You need to find out who you are now. So involving a woman in this process of your growth into this new man probably isn't going to work out. If you do decide you're going to go out there and date, be prepared that you may have to end it suddenly and without much warning, because you're going to start feeling emotionally attached to this woman, and you're going to get this little voice in the back of your head that says, you know something, I should not be here and I should not be doing this. Yeah, it feels great. I love sleeping with this woman. I love all the things associated with that. But I know deep down inside, this is wrong for me. And you just need to pull the plug, get out. You need to get out of that as quickly as possible. All right, you guys, that's what I got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and share the video with guys that you know that are kind of going through this. I think we really definitely need to be supporting ourselves. Women are really great at supporting each other when they're going through the hairy times, and I think that we guys need to hang together a little bit more, share information, and but yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Stay healthy, and if you can, stay single.